What is going on, everybody? We have a Kirk Cousins landing spot, finally. And he is in the spot where his younger self is basically going to be coming into the league. Because Kirk Cousins and Fernando Mendoza are basically the same guy. One might be better than the other, but I don't know. We're going to have to see. That is a great landing spot, though, for him, for the sake of Fernando Mendoza. Who would you want as a bridge quarterback for that guy? Then a version of him that is, what is he, 30 years older? I don't know. I don't know how old he is. What's going on, everybody? We're going to miss Sean for a while. It's cool. But Ashley's here. Let's get her title up on screen. We're going to get Sean Cantrell's title up on screen, too, because I will probably go on a rant at some point later on when he's here, and then I'll forget to put his title up, and I don't like doing that. Okay, so we have Jalen Hurts stuff happening. And let me just say, Eagles fans are probably the most illogical fan base in the history of the NFL. I'm dead serious right now. Because before all this Jalen Hurts talk started coming out, I put out a few skits this week. And I've been saying I don't think Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback. I've said this forever. When people have asked me, would you want Jalen Hurts to be the quarterback of the Jets? I said no. Yeah, I don't think he is a guy who elevates your team. I think he needs to be elevated. I think he needs a good supporting cast around him, a great supporting cast. And now all of a sudden we're hearing this stuff. What is going on, SG? What is going on, Remy? Let me just say hi to everybody first. We got Warhood. We got Jeremy JB. Nate Jablonski's here. Ashley's here, of course. Remy the Enforcer. Rowdy Egg Plaid calling me out for being late. I'm never late. I'm always exactly on time. So the Jalen Hurts thing, I mean, the Eagles have an incredible roster. They still have an incredible roster. Now, you have A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Saquon Barkley, Dallas Goedert, good offensive line. And then you have this guy on that offense that Eagles fans insist is elite. If he was elite, why are they struggling? Why? You could say it's the coach, but if you go after Nick Sirianni, they will have your head. So you can't do that. You can't go after Jalen Hurts because they will have your head. So who is it? Where's the problem? I cannot get this answer from anybody, from an Eagles fan. Please. He starts precisely when he means to. That is right, the wing land. Yes, that's exactly it. Never late, never early. It just happens when it happens. So, so did Jalen Hurts won a Super Bowl. That's all I hear. Oh, he won a Super Bowl. He was Super Bowl MVP. Well, so did Trent Dilfer. Was he Super Bowl MVP? I don't know. But I don't think the MVP mattered because we sat here and watched the game together, did we not? What was the story of that game? The Eagles defense. They completely obliterated Patrick Mahomes. That wasn't Jalen Hurts going head-to-head with Patrick Mahomes and just outplaying him. No, that was the Eagles defense. They manhandled him. Kansas City could not do anything in that game on offense because of the Eagles defense. So for us to give that to Jalen Hurts, I mean, they couldn't just give the Super Bowl MVP to everybody on the defense, right? Couldn't do that. So typically when you don't know who to give the MVP to, you'll either give it to an offensive player who scored a touchdown, unless you have a Leon Lett situation where he's just a maniac the entire game. But you typically give it to the quarterback if you don't know who to give it to. He's the leader of the team, I guess you want to say. You give it to him, and that's it. So that's why Jalen Hurts got the MVP. But this whole argument, well, he's had this many different coordinators. He's had this, he's had that. I'm sick of it. I am sick of it. He's not a great quarterback, and we're hearing things now, and now they're saying it's not true. Well, I saw a little theory on Twitter that maybe Nick Sirianni's the one putting this stuff out. Maybe he's the one because he doesn't want to get thrown under the bus. He almost lost his job already, then had it saved, won a Super Bowl, but now he might be at risk of losing it, again because Howie doesn't play. Howie does not play. He's like, I am giving you the equipment to be successful. And if you can't do it, that's a problem. So is Nick Sirianni the one putting out some of this Jalen Hurts stuff? Is it accurate? Is it true? I think there's a lot. I think there's a lot to it. I knew you were Gandalf, says Pat. Oh, man, I wish. I cannot confirm nor deny that. Yes, Wingland, what team do you root for? Let us know. I honestly made my list of every quarterback when I saw the title. About 5 minutes of thought, I put Hurts 6 with several younger guys threatening to overtake. I can be swayed lower, but not higher. Okay, so let's see. I heard Santa Claus put Jalen Hurts on the naughty list. You better not. Philly fans will kill him. So we're going to have a list here. And let's see. Josh Allen is better, right? We're going to say Josh Allen. Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I'm saying yes. I'm going to say yes. You know what? Let's make Aaron Rodgers the first quarterback. Is Jalen Hurts, and I will just put this poll up for a little while. Hurts better than Aaron Rodgers. No, you know what? Who would you rather have? Who would you rather have? That's what I'll do. Who is the better quarterback? How's that? That'll be the question. Jalen Hurts or Aaron Rodgers. And I'm going to put that up right now. So we already know Josh Allen. I'm going to put the names up here that I know are for sure. We have Josh Allen. We have Lamar Jackson. I'm putting up Joe Burrow. I don't care what anybody says. Who else can I put up there off the top of my head before that we know is for certain a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts? Who else can I put up there? Let's see. You guys give me a name and I will do it. Let me just, there we go. Okay, I'm making my list here so that we can see. So far I have 3. And we have a new Supreme Ruler of the stream, by the way. F. Hurts and the entire Eagles roster. Whoa, look at that. Remy the Enforcer is your new Supreme Ruler of the stream with a tour. Thank you very much, Remy the Enforcer. Let me get that up on screen. I'm going to do that right now, but first I am going to get this graphic up because these are the 3 quarterbacks that I have right now. I think Hurts is winning this Aaron Rodgers thing. I would pick Aaron Rodgers. I just think he's a better thrower of the football. He can read a defense, better pre-snap. I mean, for me, Hurts can move, sure. But apparently there are things that he's doing that are limiting the offense, things that he just doesn't want to do that will limit the offense. Doesn't like to be under center, apparently. These are the sides, I can't confirm that this is actually the case, but this is what the report by Jeremy Fowler was. That's what he was saying. Now, you could say, well, I don't believe Jeremy Fowler. Fine. But the report is still out there. So, we are going to talk about it. Rowdy Eggplant. No, that's not Rowdy Eggplant. That's Remy the Enforcer. My bad. Remy the Enforcer is your new Supreme Ruler of the stream. Ladies and gentlemen, I got to make that a capital E. With the tour. Appreciate you, man. So I'm going to look at some of these comments in a moment as soon as I get Remy the Enforcer all sorted out here. A lot of your names in my head, because they start with the same letters, they blend together for me. So sometimes I want to say Remy, and then I'll say Rowdy, and it's a big cluster F. The throne is not open any longer. I got to make that smaller now. Good God. That's a good size there, but let me make sure. Wait a minute. Red X Power just came in. We got a yellow light, a yellow death ray. Hold on. Let me fix this before anything. So there we go. Okay, Ramy the Enforcer, that is, we got that. Yeah, I got to make it right over here. So yeah, the Jalen Hurts thing is really driving me crazy, man. It's driving me insane. These people, they're relentless. They are relentless with their nonsense. Dude, Justin Herbert, he's closer in age. There is Red X Power with the tenor. So stupid Aaron Rodgers now is slightly worse than Hurts, but all-time general offensive ball knowledge, no brainer. If he was still young, he would be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Yeah, but I think I think it's close, and that's the point, right? Because Aaron Rodgers is in his 40s, early 40s. He is not aging the way Tom Brady has aged, right? Because Tom Brady could come back into the league, and I'm doing a video on that actually. That'll definitely be up this coming week about Tom Brady, where he would stand as a starter in the league right now. So, and we're going NFC East with that right off the bat. But Red X Power is your new supreme ruler of the stream. Thank you very much, Red X Power. Former Demonverse champion, by the way. One of the OGs. The very first Demonverse champion. So he is he's been here for a long time and a Jet fan. So he knows what pain feels like. Oh boy, does he know. Okay. But I've got a lot of stuff coming up today. We're gonna do some draft talk. We got to settle this Jalen Hurts thing once and for all, though, because you seriously you can't say anything to an Eagles fan. They get mad. They just say you don't know ball and that's it. But they don't even want to have the conversation because their take is basically, if you think he is not a top quarterback, you're an idiot, and there's no reason to talk to you. That's the take. That is the take. And we could have a discussion about it. Well, nobody has to get mad. Nobody has to get mad. Okay, there we go. There we go. I got that all set up. Thank you very much, Red X Power. So, Patrick Mahomes. Oh yeah, Patrick Mahomes. How did I forget Patrick Mahomes? My God, I gotta fix that right now. The three quarterbacks. We have 4 quarterbacks right now. Now there was a person on. That was on TikTok telling me that Jalen Hurts is better than Joe Burrow. And he was serious, dead serious. So that was concerning. Patrick Mahomes, I'm going to put him here. These are in no particular order on this list. There we go, Mahomes. Who else did we have here? Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Matt Stafford. I'm putting Stafford up there. So the guys like Brock Purdy, Dak Prescott, Jared Goff, Sam Darnold, I would put all those guys up there. Baker Mayfield, I would. Jordan Love, Drake May, Caleb. I would put every single one of the guys that Jeremy JB listed up on that list. But I could see why there would be some debate, I guess. So that's why I want to ask you guys where you stand with that. So I'm going to put Mahomes up right now on the list. Where is the list? I have the list here. Oh, here it is. Okay. So I'm putting Mahomes up on the list. There it is. There's Patrick Mahomes. On the list, what Jeremy said. Prescott, I hope he argued better. Okay. So I'll do this. I have Jeremy JB's comment right here. I hope he could be argued to be better than an injured Joe Burrow. Well, if Joe Burrow is injured, sure. But, if Burrow is at full health, it's not even a discussion. So, oh, wait a minute. Rodgers is winning this, by the way. Rodgers is winning this. So I'm going to close this in, we only got 13 votes on there, so I'm going to close this in a minute. So let's see where it goes. Rodgers is winning the poll right now, though. So that is interesting. Stafford shouldn't even be on the list. He has far exceeded. Yeah, well, I'm going to put Stafford up there. So I'm going to put names up here. You guys let me know if there's anybody that shouldn't be on here. Rodgers is going on there because he just won that poll that we had. So far we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dak, 6. Baker, 7. Darnold? I've got 8 guys on here right now that I feel like you can make a strong argument for. And I'm going to show you all those names right now. Here we go. So there we go. Those are the names that I have on there right now. And what is going on, JB? Live from New York. All right, so those are the quarterbacks that I have on the list right now. Oh, Oh, we got the Wingland quoting Eminem. I love it. Goes Jay-Z, Reggie, Tupac, and Biggie, right? Those are the first four. All right, so Remy is just enforcing that he's a clown. No, wait a minute. We can't have. We cannot have any. Well, you know, it's an in-division rivalry, so we can do that. Better close the vote while Rodgers is winning. But Rodgers won the vote already. He won the vote already. Tie goes to the runner. So, all right, Caleb is better than Hurts. And look at that. That's coming from Loco, who we know has been very critical of Caleb Williams. So I am going to put Caleb on the list. So Caleb, Jordan Love. Caleb, Jordan Love. I think we're gonna get to basically every quarterback. You guys said Brock Purdy too, right? You see, Brock Purdy, I don't know. But I am going Goff. So we have a few more guys on here right now. Tim Daniels, since you're an Eagles fan, who do you disagree with on this list? You disagree with Rodgers, right? I think you disagree with Rodgers. So there's Caleb, Jordan Love, and Goff. So let me see. Darnold, I don't agree with that. He needs the OC and the pieces around him. If he keeps this up with new, somewhat unproven OC, then I'd agree. Well, okay, but you could also say the same thing about Jalen Hurts. Because once Shane Steichen left, what did he do? You know what I mean? So that's Cousins and Mendoza. Put them both up there. Am I going to have to defend Jalen Hurts? What am I looking at? So who did you say? Because Caleb is better, so is Bo, because Bo is better than Caleb. All right, I'll put Bo Nix on there. I love Goff, but I have to sit through the biggest humiliation and ritual in my head each time he plays. Oh, that one Super Bowl when he suddenly became the Patriots Super Bowl MVP. That's right. Yeah, that's gotta hurt. Include current Marino. So, he should be above. No, I don't have. This isn't in any particular order, Rowdy. This isn't top, quarterbacks. This is just who's better than Jalen Hurts. He won a Super Bowl after Steichen left. He won a Super Bowl after Steichen left. But again, was that because of him? You know what I mean? I think Steichen is what made us look at Jalen Hurts and say, oh, he could be MVP level. And then after that, he was just a guy. He was a guy with a good roster. How many quarterbacks could we look at this list right now? How many of these guys would we plug into that roster who wouldn't have won a Super Bowl? I mean, come on. I think every single one of these guys would have. Drake May, you see, Drake May is hard for me because he looks the part to me. I would put him there. But people can say the schedule. And it is a valid argument to some extent. You have to look at that and say, okay. So to some extent, it's a valid argument. But, hey, listen up. He was almost MVP. I personally think if Drake May was on the Eagles, they would be a hell of a lot more dangerous. So I'm putting him on the list. There he is. You just made the list, Drake May. So who else do we have here? Justin Herbert, Bo Nix, not Geno Smith. We're not putting Geno Smith up there. Jaden Daniels. It's hard to say Jackson Dart because, we haven't really seen much of him. You're not saying Shedeur Sanders. You're not saying that other freak that's in Cleveland, whatever, Deshaun Watson. Not saying Kyler Murray. But Kyler Murray in Minnesota, that's interesting. Do we say Bryce Young? I don't think you can. I don't think you could say Bryce Young. Definitely not J.J. McCarthy. Daniel Jones. I don't know about Daniel Jones. C.J. Stroud. I'm putting Trevor Lawrence there. So, Darnold has carried way more than Hurts. But here's the thing. Darnold, for all the excuses people make about Hurts, right? All these different offensive coordinators and whatnot. Darnold won 14 games with the Minnesota Vikings, and then went on to win a Super Bowl with a new offensive coordinator, with a brand new team. You know, it's hard to look at that and say Darnold's not better than Hurts. I don't know. Darnold could do more than Hurts can. Darnold could sling it. Hurts doesn't want to sling it. You know which quarterback beat the Eagles for the first time ever? Zach Wilson. That's right. That's right. I remember that. We were here for that. Okay, let me get... Who else are we putting on this list? I'm going to put Bo Nix on there. Because I believe if Bo Nix was healthy, the Broncos would have been in the Super Bowl. I think he would have taken the Broncos to the Super Bowl. So I'm going to put Bo Nix up there. What other quarterbacks did I say? I'm putting Jaden Daniels up there. And I know Eagles fans are going to hate to hear that. He has an S at the end of his name. Jaden Daniels. We have Dak Prescott. There are a couple of other guys. Let me see. Okay. Brock Purdy, CJ Stroud. Definitely not Tua, not Penix. Guys that I think are absolutely better than him. I'm not ready to say Bryce Young right now. I don't know that CJ Stroud is, honestly. So I'm not going to go there. I think this is about it, though. Brock Purdy, man, it's hard because what is he without Shanahan? I'm putting Herbert on the list because I think Herbert's better. And that one's a little hard too, but why not? All right, this is the list that we have right now. Let me post this up. So what do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's 16 quarterbacks. So that's exactly half the league of guys that I think are absolutely better than Jalen Hurts. Tim is fuming right now. This is not an unserious conversation. Give me an argument for Jalen Hurts without using the phrase, well, he won a Super Bowl. He was the Super Bowl MVP. Without using that phrase, give me the argument. Because if you can't, I mean, it's weird. That's the only argument that Eagles fans have. Oh, which quarterbacks are Jalen Hurts better than? Hold on. Wait a minute. Which quarterbacks are better than Jalen Hurts? That's what I meant to put. Hold on. I got to flip-flop that. SG, you maniac. Yes, that is a total deep inverse thing to happen. We like to play games, but now it's been corrected. There we go. It has been corrected. All right, Bo Nix in the playoff game he played. Let's see. Bo Nix in the playoff game he played, 279 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception against the number 1 pass defense. Yeah, I think Bo Nix is better. I think Bo Nix is better. Spell Joey's. I did not spell Burrow's. Oh my God. I put Joe Burrow. I spelled it with a W. I am all kinds of messed up. All right. There we go. Joe Burrow. That's going to be corrected right now. So there we go. Those are the guys. I think that's the entire list that I could say. Is Burrow spelled wrong? No, Burrow is spelled right. You were telling me for like 10 minutes. I've been talking. You know how it goes. Hurts' system is have him run it and overthrow his open receivers, says Loco. You were telling me for like 10 minutes. Okay, let's see. Joe Burrow's name is spelled correctly. So if you guys could see what I'm seeing on this, when it comes to the chat's just moving. So it's hard for me to see a lot of comments. What about Kirk? I don't know that I would put Kirk Cousins on this list. I don't know. He didn't look good. I don't know that I would put Kirk Cousins on this list, but I mean, I would put Andy Dalton on this list. I think I would put Andy Dalton on this list. Personally, disagree with Herbert being better because of his playoff collapses. Herbert is better in the regular season, but if we're going to use Jalen Hurts' struggle, like if we're going to use the argument that Jalen Hurts has had different coordinators and whatnot as an argument for him, then you have to use that for Herbert. You have to. I mean, Herbert had to deal with Brandon Staley. He had to deal with, he had Kellen Moore as an offensive coordinator. So, I mean, it was pretty good. Oh, before I forget, I have to put another name on here. I have to make sure I spell these names right. I think I spelled this right. You're going to see another name hit the list right now. And it is not an NFC East person. It is Trevor Lawrence. There he is, right up on the list. I believe Trevor Lawrence is better. Arch Manning, yeah. I don't know about Daniel Jones. I don't know that I would put Daniel Jones on there. Daniel Jones is a fair argument. Yeah, I think you can go back and forth with Daniel Jones, though. He's not better than Dak. I don't think Hurts is better than Dak. Dak, no. I'm not doing that. I'm definitely not putting Hurts over Dak. I don't even think that's a conversation. Kirk just got signed to Vegas, so I think it's possible. Yeah, but I mean, did we see Vegas' offensive line? Are they going to be able to improve that offensive line and protect him and keep him upright? I don't know. We might see Geno Smith 2.0 there. I'm not putting Daniel Jones on there. Tua took his job once already. Yeah, I don't know that I could put Daniel Jones on here. That one's rough. Maybe I'll put that in the let's see, start a poll. Better quarterback. Let's see. My fingers are hitting all types of buttons here. Jalen Hurts. Okay, there we go. We're starting the poll right now. Who's the better quarterback? Kirk. Wait, no, that's not Kirk Cousins. Sorry. Daniel Jones or Jalen Hurts? Rivers. Jalen Hurts has 83% of the vote. Once we get to, if we get to 15 votes, I'll call it. I got 10 votes so far, 70% Jalen Hurts. Yeah, I agree with that. The great Mac Jones is better than Hurts. The great Mac Jones with Kyle Shanahan, he might be better than Hurts. He might be better than Hurts. So, that's basically where we are. My point was, he's not a top 5 quarterback. We have him right in the middle. And you can make arguments for some of these guys, I guess. You can create arguments, and I would say, you can create the Bo Nix argument. You can create the Drake May argument. You could create the Jaden Daniels argument, I guess, the Herbert argument, the Trevor Lawrence argument. Fine, but I don't know, man. I think you plug any of those guys into that team that won a Super Bowl, I think you still win the Super Bowl. I think the team does better now with any of those guys than they do with Hurts. It's always... The offense is limited with him. So that's the problem I have. Now we have an intriguing poll. I genuinely have no idea who is better. Yeah, and there we go. So people who are saying he's a top 5 quarterback, if we're presenting Daniel Jones, and it's a tough argument, that's where he is. That's exactly where he is. So that's what we have. We have some NFL draft stuff, too. We can get back to this if you guys want to at some point. But Clinton is here with a tenor. Says, how many real franchise quarterbacks are really in the league? I say 6, and everyone else falls into good with the system or roster. That's a fair point. I think it's probably more than 6. Let's take a look at this list again. As Clinton is your new supreme ruler of the stream, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, Clinton. We're going to get your name up right there. where red X power is. An orange ray. Was it a ray of death? No, this isn't orange. This is yellow. We got the yellow bullet of death that just came in and took out red X power for the supreme ruler of the stream. Shot by Clinton Ganaway. Clinton Ganaway, that's a cool name. That sounds like somebody, like an alter ego, right? I could, like Green Arrow or something. Clinton Ganaway, a.k.a. the Yellow Arrow. Is there a Yellow Arrow in comics? I don't even know. Wait a minute. Let me fix this. The throne has been taken by Clinton Ganaway. Thank you very much, Clinton. So, yeah, let me look at that list again. Jackson Dart, I don't know. The Sunbeam of Death. I like that. The Sunbeam of Death. I say 6. Okay, so Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Let's get this up here. Let me get Clinton's question up here again. So, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Mahomes, Stafford. Yeah, you would have. So we're gonna see with Jaden Daniels. I think, system right. Like a lot of these guys, except Dak. I mean, Dak seems to play well regardless of who's there. Strangely, right? So I think you have to put Dak in that. But yeah, I mean, there is real franchise quarterbacks. Yeah. You're absolutely right, Clinton. That there are about 6. Looking at this, I mean, Goff. What's interesting about Goff is he went from McVay, but he also succeeded in Detroit system. But you could be like, well, Ben Johnson was there, but he didn't have Ben Johnson this year, and then the Lions didn't make the playoffs. So it's hard because so few quarterbacks can overcome a bad offensive coordinator. You know what I mean? And I think I think it looks like there were about 6, man. Looks like there are about 6. Jaden is too fragile. We don't know. I mean, he could be. We have to see how he does this year. If he can stay upright, if he learns how to slide, that would be great for him. Because I don't want to see Jaden Daniels get hurt. Got some college basketball talk going on in the chat. So, NFL draft. There is a mock draft that I saw. This is from Football Guys. I'm going to put this up on screen for you guys to see. Let me just... Let me get this Jaden Daniels stuff off here for a moment. Oh, Jalen Hurts. Sorry. What the hell's wrong with me? So this is from Football Guys. This is from Dave Kluge at Football Guys. This is his mock draft. Yes, Fernando Mendoza obviously going to the Raiders. Sonny Styles going to the Jets. I haven't seen too many mock drafts with Sonny Styles going to the Jets. I love this. I actually really like his mock draft. Now, where I'm going to push back a bit. Arvell Reese going to the Cardinals? Maybe. I could see that. If Styles goes to the Jets at 2, Arvell Reese could go to the Cardinals. Ruben Bain, I could definitely see Saleh taking him. I think the Giants would take Jeremiah Love over Caleb Downs there. I don't know that Caleb Downs is going to go that high because of the injury stuff. So that is, that's a little, that one I would push back a bit on. Money Mike Madness is here. He says Jalen Hurts is a scrub. Then we got Mayuga. How do you say his name? Going to the Cleveland Browns. I could see that because they have no offensive line right now. Jeremiah Love going to the Washington Commanders. That would be a sweet landing spot for them and him. But I don't think he gets by the Giants. And I don't know. This is what's interesting about 2. If Washington really wants Jeremiah Love, will they call the Jets and say, hey, would you be willing to trade back? a little bit. It's going to take another 27 first, at least. At least. I heard the Jets might target Dante Wicks. Yeah, I heard they might target Dante Wicks. I'm still hearing the Brian Thomas stuff from Jacksonville. We'll see. I know. Look, they really like A.D. Mitchell. So maybe they're like, we're just going to roll with him this year and see what he can do with a quarterback that can actually get the ball out. Which you can say what you want about Geno, he can at least get the ball out. We got David Bailey going to the Saints here. Spencer Fano going to the Kansas City Chiefs. I could see that. I could see the David Bailey thing. Although I think the Saints would take one of the receivers because it's strange that the receivers are not off the board yet. Mansour Delane going to the Cincinnati Bengals. That is a good pick. And again, I've been pounding the table for the Bengals to go offensive line, but I think Caleb Downs or Mansour Delane, or if Sonny Styles were to fall there or something, and the Bengals did that, I would have no problem with it. Apart from that, I'd be like, what are you guys doing? But Kenyon Sadiq going to the Dolphins, I hate that. I don't want that to happen. I like Kenyon Sadiq. I don't want him to be a Dolphin. I like Bailey going to the Saints, yeah. Carnell Tate going to the Cowboys. I don't see Jerry doing that. But most of the top defensive guys are gone. So they might just say, we're going to go with who we feel is the best player available at this point. And Carnell Tate is in that conversation. Though Messidor, I think, the edge out of Miami would be in consideration here. Then this is where it gets a little wonky for me. Jordan Tyson to the Rams, maybe. I mean, but if Mekhi Lemon's there and they're going to go receiver, I don't think they're taking Jordan Tyson over Mekhi Lemon. Do not think that. A lot of teams are going to try trading down in this draft. Not a lot of quarterbacks to get good players to drop. The strength of this draft are dudes in the second and third. See, I think there's a drop-off at about the middle of the second round. I think there's a drop-off at 16, right around there, right where the Jets are, and then a drop-off in about the middle of the second round. So, but the Jeremiah Love thing is interesting because if there are a few teams there, people are saying the Titans are in on him. I don't buy that. I don't buy the Titans being in on Jeremiah Love. Saleh not going defense would make no sense to me. I don't think they're going to go running back, even though he is. But I like that that's being thrown out there because, I mean, could Jeremiah Love be in consideration for the Cardinals? Maybe people could think that. And if that's where other teams are thinking he could go, if the Giants or the Commanders want him, why not make a call to the Jets and say, hey, what's it going to take for us to get up there? What's it going to take for us to get up there? Who can predict the ways of the pterodactyls? Nobody. Nobody can do that. That is not a thing. The Jets getting Mekhi Lemon, I mean, if he falls there and they want to take him, yeah, I mean, I am all over that. If he's not there, I want Vega. I've said that before. But I like that. I like that pick. Let's continue the first round. I just have to adjust my screen here. It gets a little interesting here. Oh, crap. What did I do? I'll just adjust this so that you guys can see it properly. Okay, so then you've got McCoy going to the Lions. Another guy who can play, but the injury history there is a bit concerning. But, I mean, that's a good pick for the Lions. I'd be happy with that if I was a Lions fan. Dylan Thieneman. Surprised that they have him going over Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, who they have. I'll show you who they have him going to later. But no, that's a good pick. I mean, it's three great safeties, by the way, in the first round of this draft. Freeling over Vega, yeah. But it was Freeling. Oh, Freeling they had with Baltimore. Yeah, okay. So I missed that. Yeah, Baltimore is definitely in play for Vega. They would definitely be in play for Vega, which would frustrate me. If Vega's gone, Makai Lemon's gone, like that's then I would almost rather the Jets try to trade down at that point. But Peter Woods. So yeah, Vega going to Pittsburgh. Caden Proctor. So 2 offensive players going to Dallas. That doesn't make sense to me. Keldrick Falk going to Carolina. I'm gonna move this. There we go. So we got Caleb Lomu going to the Eagles, offensive tackle. Denzel Boston going to the Cleveland Browns. I mean I can't really argue with it. I don't love these receivers. I got to be honest. The 2 receivers that I really like in this draft are that I feel very confident about are Carnell Tate and Makai Lemon. Outside of that, I just think maybe Omar Cooper I feel decent about, but I don't know. I don't see any of these guys as real game breakers, guys that are going to make a big difference. I could be wrong, though. I probably am. Casey Concepcion going to the Texans. Omar Cooper going to San Francisco. I like that landing spot for Omar Cooper, San Francisco. I think that's fine. Emmanuel McNeil-Warren going to Buffalo. That makes a lot of sense. They could use help in the secondary. TJ Parker, edge, going to the Chicago Bears. Then we got Cassius Howell going to Kansas City. The edge out of Texas A&M. Caleb Banks going to the Miami Dolphins. Blake Miller. Avion Terrell going to the Seattle Seahawks. So that rounds that out. Not one of the better mock drafts that I've seen by Dave Kluge. So I got to hand it to him. That was one of the better mock drafts. You know, there are some issues that I have, but I guess I'm saying one of the better mock drafts because he's got us getting Sonny Styles and Makai Lemon. So that made me happy. But looking at a lot of this now, I took a quick glance at it, right? Like the Mansour Delane, I like the Cincinnati. Kenyon Sadiq makes sense for the Miami Dolphins, but again, I just don't want him to go there. Vega, I think Vega slid way down. I don't think he's going to be there at 21 for Pittsburgh. So, again, might not make it past Baltimore. The same, Baltimore could go receiver. So they could be in play for Makai Lemon, maybe. Baltimore fans, what do you think about taking a receiver? Would you rather receiver or would you rather Vega? Not a sexy draft, lots of edge and interior offensive linemen. Yeah, but for the commoner, it's not a sexy draft. But for people like us in the Demonverse, we're just like, no, this is a good draft. I mean, you have some good players here. There are a lot of good players here. But next year, obviously, that's what everybody's looking to. And because there's not a big fantasy, this draft, people are saying, as far as fantasy football goes, these aren't going to be impact players. Maybe Carnell Tate. But after you get by Jeremiah Love, it kind of, you could between picks 2 and 5, you could pretty much take whoever. You're in Superflex, you're going to probably take Fernando Mendoza with the next pick. But or Carnell Tate. And again, it depends on landing spot. But Kenyon Sadiq's landing spot is interesting. If he's there at 16 too, he's another guy. I would be fine. If the Jets want to take him, I'd be like, sure, fine. If they went with Dylan Thieneman, I would be fine with that, honestly. If a lot of these guys are off the board that I want, if like Vega's off the board, if Makai Lemon's off the board, if Carnell Tate, Kenyon Sadiq, Mansour, like if all these guys are off the board, which they should be, I would be absolutely fine with the Jets going in that direction. So, I've seen the Omar Cooper talk. I would rather just wait. I'd rather wait to see what A.D. Mitchell's going to do. See what happens next year in free agency. See what happens in next year's draft. We have the capital, so you don't have enough interior guys now. Yeah, Vega makes sense for you guys. There's a lot of overlap in skill with Wilson and Lemon. Yeah, but I think Mekhi Lemon, man, I don't want to say he'll be Jackson Smith and Jigba. Like I'm not trying to say that, but I think he is that type of receiver where he's just going to work. I'm not saying he's going to be as impactful as JSN, but I feel confident he's going to work, and I feel confident he's going to be an impact player. So we don't have Ty Simpson. We don't have Ty Simpson in the first round either, which Dave Kluge's one of the very few that I've seen not put him in the first round. What's the Jets' inside linebacker situation? They just addressed it in free agency. Our linebackers are not. They were terrible last year, but that's one of the reasons why I want Sonny Styles, because we're going to a 3-4, and I think he's going to be a Hall of Fame caliber player. So, I think you take that. It's hard because people, you're going to take a linebacker or two, but yeah, if he's that type of player, sure. Orlovsky's got to be upset. Yeah, the more and more I look at that Orlovsky take, man, the more it's just a head scratcher. Because, look, Ty Simpson, his dad was a coach. Cool, that's awesome. He could read a defense, we're hearing all this stuff, all the same stuff, but it's the starts, man. The number of starts, that's the big sticking point for me. It's the major sticking point for me. He can do all these other things right, fine. But the number of starts, I think it was Bill Parcells that said, if you don't have 30 starts, I don't even want to look at you. If you don't have 30 college starts, no. And people are comparing him to, people are talking about Tyler Shuck last year. Oh, the Saints took a swing on Tyler Shuck in the second round. Look how that turned out. Yeah, but Tyler Shuck had a ton of college starts. Ty Simpson doesn't have that. So I would love for Ty Simpson to be there at 33 and for the Jets to not take him, because then they can get a litany of picks. And I think Darren Mougey is going to ask for a first for 27. And if you have a team like the Arizona Cardinals, maybe the Arizona Cardinals are a little desperate at that point. They're like, you know what? Let's just get him. We like him. Let's get him. We'll give up the 27 first. Whatever. We'll just get our quarterback in the room and see what happens. That would be an absolute win for the great Darren Mougey, whose face is right there. Look at him, spelling his name out in magic. Ashley comes in with an orange. I have to make up names for these. We have the pink ray of death, right? Or the red. I think the red ray is like the death ray. That is the death ray. The absolute death ray. But Ashley just came in with a bright orange ray of madness. I got to come up with better names. And takes the Supreme Ruler of the Stream title, starting a Kickstarter fund to help Ty Simpson get a higher draft spot. Hey, maybe, you never know. Maybe the Bengals will take him. They're like, you know what? We need, they have the great Joe Burrow. So they're not going to be looking for quarterback. And backing him up, they have the great Joe Flacco. I mean, that is a quarterback room for the ages. I love that guys are playing later into their years now. It's just becoming a thing. And it's because, again, people take better care of themselves now. It is Drew McIntyre was actually talking about this as Ashley, by the way, becomes the new Supreme Ruler of the Stream. Let me get your comment up on screen, and I'm going to highlight it right down there. I got to fix that. Drew McIntyre was talking about that. They asked him in an interview, Drew McIntyre of WWE, they asked him in an interview how long he thinks he's going to wrestle. And he said, I don't know. He was basically saying his wife thinks it might not be that much longer. But with the way their careers are being prolonged, guys are, and girls are aging differently now. He's like, it could be longer than you would think. And I like that. I like that because, I mean, think about it. You get a quarterback. Well, let's just take Joe Burrow, for example. Let's say he stays healthy, right? I mean, Cincinnati Bengals have him for another 15 years? What? What is he 30 now? Is he 30? How old is Joe Burrow? Let's get the television champs title. Total updated. There it is, Ashley. Thank you very much. Did I even show you guys the contenders yet? There are the contenders. Rowdy A. Platt, I'm sorry. Melissa Klein, Samuel Miller, Mike Causey. I got all into this Jalen Hurts stuff right off the top, and I forgot to even acknowledge the contenders. What a fool I am. Let's see. Bungles don't deserve another QB. To ruin, let us have one, says Money Mike. No, you are never getting Joe Burrow. That'll never happen. That's not what you said, but still. How old is Joe Burrow? Let me look that up. I think he's 29, right? I think he's 29. So if he can just, if they can keep him upright, Joe Burrow, 29, he will be 30 in December. Yeah. So, I mean, realistically, you can have him for another 15 years. If he stays healthy. If he doesn't want to pull an Andrew Luck. If he, some of the things he said were a little troubling. Almost like he's fallen out of love with the game. But, well, because he's been hurt so much. But, I mean, if you can keep him upright, they have success, he might be around for a long time. Cloud chasing. Yeah, I'm cloud chasing off of Jalen Hurts. That is the most ridiculous thing Tim Daniels ever said. I might have to put that on the wall. That might have to go on a subliminal message screen. I don't know. That is a comment that I think needs more traction in the world. I love that comment. Samuel Miller with a tenor says, I heard the Dolphins are trying to coax Troy Polamalu out of retirement to fit their hair image. Troy Polamalu could probably still play. That's what's crazy is like talking about guys lasting longer. Not to say Troy Polamalu could still actually play. Thank you very much, Samuel Miller. Samuel Miller, by the way, I'm going to get your name up on the contenders list updated. But Tom Brady, man, if we looked at that list that I did, the Jalen Hurts list, how many of those quarterbacks would you say Brady is better than? Right? I mean, there are quite, and again, that's why I'm doing that video. It's AFC East centric right now. I'm sorry, NFC East. It's going to be NFC East. Would you take Tom Brady or one of these NFC East quarterbacks? And I haven't given it thought, because when I go into a division, I want to go into it fresh and just look at it as I'm doing it. But I think as we get Samuel Miller's name on screen as your number 3 contender, I think I can get through half the league and say this team might be better off with Brady. They had Brady this year. I mean, so the conditions, there are going to be conditions in the video, but the conditions are basically, if you can have them all year, take injuries out, take all that stuff out. Just you're swapping your quarterback for Brady. We're putting your quarterback in carbonite for a year. It doesn't age, nothing. It's going to be interesting. And that'll be up this week, so take a good look at it. Clinton Ganaway comes in with a tenor and says he is now, he is the new supreme ruler of the stream, by the way, with the tenor. Takes over again as the supreme ruler of the stream with the yellow sun ray of horror. I got to come up with better names. Imagine 5 years from now, Lamar and Burrow both retire early and Rodgers is still the best quarterback in the AFC North. I'd be here for that. That would be awesome. Well, I mean, I wouldn't want to see those guys retire early. But I never want Aaron Rodgers to retire. I am legitimately going to be sad if Aaron Rodgers retires. When he retires, not if he retires. He's going to retire at some point. By the way, SG, I don't know if you know, Clinton is NJB, Clinton is a fellow Ravens fan, by the way. So, welcome him with open arms if you haven't already. I'm sure you have. Lamar's interesting because he is a better passer than people give him credit for. So, the question with Lamar is, he's getting older. He's not going to be able to play that style of football anymore. He's still going to be able to run. I mean, he's still going to be a good athlete. It's not like he's going to be slow all of a sudden. But at some point, guys have to transition to playing a different style of quarterback. And I think Lamar is going to transition fine, honestly. I think he's a lot better than people give him credit for in the passing game. So I think Lamar is going to be fine. I think he's going to be around for a while. Put Brady over all of them. In the NFC, well, I'm not gonna give it away. I'm not gonna give it away. I actually like Kirk Cousins to Las Vegas, a good mentor for Mendoza. Yeah, that was a great job. Nuka Bats here. Sorry I'm late. I had to put my kid to bed. No, Nuka, don't worry about that. You never have to apologize to the Demonverse. Where is Cooper Rush? Where did Cooper Rush go? Now, Cooper Rush was in Baltimore last year, right? And he looked terrible. Is he out there somewhere? Or is he a part of a team now? I don't even know. I see Jalen Hurts' name coming up again. Wait a minute. Somebody say something about Jalen Hurts? Burrow's retiring once he gets his Batmobile. Not the Dolphins, the Dulgas. That's right. Oh, the Dulgas. We still have that belt. That belt is not going anywhere. That'll be here forever. Hurts is basically Russell Wilson 2.0. It's like you read my script, Loco. It is like you read the script word for word. He's a free agent right now. I thought somebody signed him, but yeah, you're right. I don't think he did. Let me see. Cooper. I think they were talking about the Jets signing him. That's another thing. I see Eagles fans saying, "Well, I forgot the name of who their backup quarterback was last year." But Eagles fans were saying, "Oh no, you should give us a second rounder for him." Tanner, was it Eagles? I got to look at the Eagles quarterback room. What's his name? Tanner McKee. Yeah, Tanner McKee. Apparently Howie wanted a second rounder for Tanner McKee. And Eagles fans are like, "You should have given us a second rounder. You're so stupid." I'm just like, "No, we're not giving you a second rounder for Tanner McKee. What has he done? What? Get out of here." Random comment. Thank you so much for the $5, Loco. Random comment. Saw the new Mario movie. It was awesome. I heard it got bad reviews, though. But that is something I want to check out. Have you seen the trailer for... what is it called? Backrooms? I think that's what it's called. Backrooms. It looks pretty interesting. It's like a guy finds just like this weird backroom area of a department store. I guess he works there, and it just seems to go on forever. And it something nefarious obviously is going on. I think it's an A24 movie, horror movie, but it looks pretty interesting. So I'm not gonna put the trailer up because I don't think you guys want to see the trailer right now. Scream 7 was good. Oh, it is packing people at my wife's theater. Scream 7 was good, she said. I saw Scream 7. I liked it. I like all the Scream movies. They're fun. The ending, I'm still trying to wrap my head around with this one, though. It was just like, okay, I get it, but it just seems like they just went in a direction with the ending where they were like, let's just throw something together and that's it. Like the endings to the other ones, there was kind of some rhyme and reason to how they ended, to who the killer was and why they were doing it. And this one, I feel like they just kind of came out and were like, here you go, here's the killer. Now, here's the reason. And the reason's just kind of like, okay, I guess, all right. But it didn't really make a lot of sense. Hurts is going to the Raiders for their number 1. So Tim Daniel wants to give up Jalen Hurts for Fernando Mendoza. Oh, look at this. He's finally coming around. It's nice to see an Eagles fan finally have a little bit of sense. You know what I mean? Good on you, Tim Daniel. Yes, Mendoza over Hurts by a million. I should have put him on the list. You got Kirk Cousins too. Why not? It's the first overall pick. So we'll throw Kirk Cousins, first overall pick. You give us Jalen Hurts. That's fine. No, you know what? No, you're not getting Kirk Cousins. Because Kirk Cousins might actually start over Jalen Hurts. They would never do that, by the way. Iron Lung was amazing. I heard Iron Lung was good. And then for the Mario movie, you had the Supergirl trailer too. The Supergirl trailer came up in the Mario movie, and I saw the Supergirl trailer. I thought it was good. Thought it looked good. I mean, Lobo looks awesome. Did I watch Dangerous Animals about the serial killer who feeds his victim alive to sharks? No, I didn't see that. That looks interesting, though. I did hear about it. That is interesting. I still want to see what is the last Sam Raimi movie? Send Help. I still want to see Send Help, but I heard it's gross. And I have a problem with gross things going on. And there's also like a bit of animal violence, and that kind of makes me sad, so I don't really enjoy watching that. And it's just, it's like a gore scene or something. But yeah, man, the gross out factor is what Sam Raimi likes. Although I have watched a lot of Sam Raimi movies, and I haven't thought they were bad with the gross out factor. But apparently this one, there was a major gross out factor at a couple of points. So, Samuel Miller with a 5 says, trivia question. Who is the oldest quarterback? I'm going to say George Blanda. 236 touchdowns, old school TDs, and 2002 points. So wait a minute. Who was the oldest quarterback? Did you answer your own question, Samuel? Did you ask a question and then answer it? Who was the oldest quarterback? I'm going to say George Blanda, 236 touchdowns, old school TDs. So who, other than George Blanda, is the oldest quarterback to do something like that? Is that what the question is? Yeah, Good Boy. Yes, Pat. Yeah, Good Boy. That was another one. I heard about that, and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to watch that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to watch that. But yeah, if you tell me the dog survived, I'm like, cool. When Ashley was talking about Project, what is it? Project, man, I forgot the name of that. Project Hail Mary. When she was talking about that, I was like, I just need to know, does anything bad happen to the alien? And then she told me, and then I made a decision. I'm not going to tell anybody yes or no right now, but she told me, and I made a decision there whether I could see that movie or not. I don't want to give anything away. Samuel Miller is up to 670 now. Let's get some answers to his question. If you guys know the answer to that, I'm bad at trivia like this. Sometimes I'm amazing. Other times I'm bad. Samuel Miller, your number 3 contender. Let's get his name up on screen again. Bam! There it is. There it is. The Green Ray. That is a Green Ray. Samuel Miller is up to 15, so it wasn't a Green Ray. It wasn't a Green Ray because it did not knock Clinton off of his perch. I'm gonna come up with some pretty cool names for these colors. They need names. They definitely need names. Also, there's going to be some. I'm making team-specific Demonverse merch, so every team will be represented by a specific Demonverse shirt. So that's going to happen at some point. I think George Blanda was 48 in his last NFL season. Let's see. I'm going to look it up. George Blanda died 2010. Was he the oldest quarterback to play in the NFL? Yeah, he appeared in games for the Oakland Raiders at 48 years old. During the 1975 season, also served as a kicker, played for 26 seasons. Man. 48 years old, 98 days. Tom Brady is the second, 45 years old. Steve DeBerg, third, 44 years old. Vinny Testaverde, 44 years old. Warren Moon, 44 years old. So those are the top 5 oldest quarterbacks ever to play the game. Rodgers will get there. You know what I think? No Cardinals merch. You're right. Yeah, I mean, nobody's going to buy it because they don't exist. So they don't exist. Yeah, so Blanda was the oldest. Apparently, the Eagles are a super team who could win with any quarterback. We will play McKee and trade this year's number one to some dumb team like the Jets. No. Well, I mean, you can call us dumb, but what do you want for the number one? All right, we'll give you, what will we give you for your number one pick? I know. We will give you the 33rd pick for your number one. You also have to give us your 2027 number one. That's the way I deal. So you want it? That's what it's going to cost. See, they took the smoking out of football and guys can't hang like that. Yeah. You know what's crazy is back in the day, they had all those ads too, right? They were like smoking ads, cigarette ads, and they were athletes, professional athletes, just doing these smoking. Not in the 70s. I don't think they did that in the 70s, but I mean, I'm talking about like the 50s. It's like Joe DiMaggio. Like, I think he was in a smoking ad, actually. Like coming out of the stadium and the kid's like talking to him and he's like, I got to have my after game cigarette, kid. Hold on. I mean, it's crazy. And they also had commercials for like White Castle talking about how White Castle was an important part of like a young person's diet. And they got away with that stuff back then. Could you imagine? Pack of Skittles and two tickets to Jaws 3D and a copy of Hero and the Terror for your number one pick. Wait a minute. Where's Jaws 3D? That might be a good deal. Where's Jaws 3D playing? Is it like an IMAX? Jaws 3D is an underrated movie. Babe Ruth's preferred cigarette is this. Yeah, smoke it and you'll hit home runs just like the Bambino. Yeah, that's exactly the way it was. The world, and it's crazy that it wasn't that long ago. The world has changed so much since then. You don't have White Castle there. Yeah, but that was a legit ad. They were just touting White Castles. Like this if you want your kid to grow up healthy, just make sure you go to White Castle, and he will. And we're guaranteed. Could you imagine that? Nuka says no Giants merch. I'm going to represent every team. If a Cardinals fan comes along and buys something, I will investigate it, of course, just to make sure it's legitimate. I don't know that I'll be able to, but look up Babe Ruth's breakfast. I think I've heard this before, but let me look it up now. Ruth breakfast. Whiskey? Wait a minute. A pint of whiskey mixed with ginger ale, a large steak, 4 fried eggs, fried potatoes, and a full pot of coffee. So he had whiskey, which is like a depressant, on top of a full pint of coffee. That's crazy. Now, what was his size? Because I don't think he was actually that big, right? Babe Ruth's size. 6'2", 215. Yeah, that's not huge. For back then, I guess it was big. But that's not that big. Isn't that like Lamar Jackson size? How big is Lamar Jackson? Wait a minute. Yeah, Lamar Jackson 6'2", 215. Lamar Jackson, one of the most athletic quarterbacks we've ever seen, if not the most athletic. He was the same size as Babe Ruth, who was just considered a massive man could play baseball, but, wasn't fleet of foot. He was rotund. 6'2", 215. It was a very different 6'2", 215. That's like when people were putting up Donald Trump size next to Derrick Henry's, and it was like they were the same. I don't know if it's true or not, but people were doing that on Twitter. They're like, Donald Trump and Derrick Henry are the same size. I was like, well, those are two different sides of completely different sides of the spectrum. I didn't think he was that tall. I thought he was taller, actually, because the way they made it sound was he was just this larger than life figure. But back then I guess he was, because Ty Cobb, right? He played around the time Ty Cobb played, and Ty Cobb was considered one of the best ball players ever. 6'1", 175 was Ty Cobb. So he was like Jaden Daniels. What's Jaden Daniels' size? Let's see. 6'3", 210. Okay. So he's close. I swear when he was coming out, they were like, he might be kissing like 180. But, you know, they always inflate these sizes for athletes and whatnot. Peak human size. Will the future telling device be available? Well, I don't know that I could really deny the existence of the future telling device anymore, but, you know, that's all I'll say about that. So Jalen Hurts wins the Daniel Jones poll. Surprise, surprise. I didn't expect Daniel Jones to win that. I would have been surprised. I guess it wouldn't have surprised me if he did, but I didn't expect him to. Am I late to the party learning Stephon Gilmore's retiring? I'm late to the party. I didn't know that. Baseball players have always been tall, more physics behind throws, cause of leverage. How tall was Lou Gehrig? Because he was one of the bigger guys, if I recall. And I want to see how tall Joe DiMaggio is. Lou Gehrig was 6 foot 200 pounds. I thought he was bigger than that. Let's see Joe DiMaggio's size. Because he looks lanky too. 6'2". They don't have his, about 190 pounds. Okay. Compare it to Wemby's size. 7'4", 235. Some reports suggest he might be 7'5". So he's probably 6'11". Because, I mean, do you remember what they did WrestleMania 3? They were, every time they talked about WrestleMania 3, Andre the Giant gained like another 100 pounds. Like at one point, it was like 750 pounds. Hulk Hogan slammed him, and it's, you know, I think he was about 500 pounds. I got to see his size now. Andre the Giant size. He was famously billed at 7'4", but he was closer to 6'10". And weighed over 500 pounds. So the 500 pounds, he looked like he could have weighed about 500 pounds during WrestleMania time. People said in his prime he might have been about 7'1". So I want to see Wemby throw a baseball. I feel like his arms would get tangled up in each other. This upcoming WrestleMania is going to suck, says Rowdy. Yeah, wrestling's, I mean, Danhausen's the best thing going on in wrestling right now. He's the most entertaining thing going on in wrestling. I've been watching Raws and SmackDowns and, you know, the Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes thing. Like, I don't know, man. They're doing this whole Cody Rhodes push. And I can't get behind him. I don't love him. I don't know what it is. I don't think he's great on the mic. I don't think there's anything special about him. So I have an issue with when you don't have a champion that is like a ticket seller. You know what I mean? Like, this feels like WWE when Diesel was the champion. Who went on to become Kevin Nash, and he said him and Scott Hall and Hogan were basically the Beatles at one point, which is true to an extent. But when he was champion in WWE, like, it was just. So I think we are at a point in WWE right now where it's just we're just kind of waiting for the next big, because I think it'll come up again. Somebody's going to come up and we're going to be like, okay, that guy's incredible. Hopefully they have a number of those guys. Roman Reigns is cool. Like, I don't dislike these guys. Don't get me wrong. I don't dislike Cody Rhodes. I just they don't feel like must-see TV. Like, you see these guys on the mic, you're like, okay, they say cool things once in a while. Somebody made a comment the other day that I saw. They said wrestling is like it's more like acrobatics now than anything, and I kind of see that. Been watching some of the old WrestleManias, just putting them on every now and then, and that the tag team, that bloodline, you know, it was the Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins fighting The Rock and Roman Reigns, and it just wasn't a good match. It wasn't a good match. It was just like, oh, you know what I mean? Wait a minute, we have a pink ray of death. This is the pink ray of death. That one comes in and annihilates the former supreme ruler of the stream. Ashley says, wait, you can watch movies about people getting messily killed, but you have a problem with animals being abused? Actually, yes, I have an issue watching animals in distress too. Yeah, that's, I'll tell you, I can watch horror movies, and I don't want to say I enjoy people getting killed. I'm not like, yeah, kill that mother effer. No, but something about the innocent. Same thing with kids. I don't like to see kids get killed. I remember seeing Mimic. You guys remember that movie, Mimic? There was a scene in Mimic. So basically what Mimic was, Mira Sorvino was in it. It was some science experiment. Thank you very much, Ashley, by the way. You're the new supreme ruler of the stream. I'm getting that set up right now for you as we speak. But Mimic was... wait, I gotta do math really quick. Hold on. So Mimic was like the science experiment, and they were giant insects almost that in the shadows mimicked the shape of a human. So you would see, it would look like a human to you, and that's how they would lure you in, and then they would attack. I mean, this came out a long time ago. So I might have it wrong. I only saw it the one time. But there was a scene in that where a couple of kids were in the subway, and they're looking and they see this figure, and I just remember watching that and being like, oh no, they're not gonna like have this thing attack these kids, right? And I remember it being kind of graphic, or they gave you an inclination that it was graphic the way it happened, and I just remember being like, oh, man, I am not gonna be able to get that out of my head now. So yeah, that thank you very much, Ashley. You're the new supreme ruler of the stream at $69.98. So yeah, that really, but animals, I can't see animals get it. Even aliens, like E.T. You know, if they were gonna hurt E.T., I was gonna have a problem with that. If you haven't seen E.T. by now, spoiler alert, he makes it home. But yeah, animals, it's a hard thing. Innocence, for me, they're off limits. Don't hurt the innocent. All right, so I'm updating your total here, Ashley. There we go. It's going to be up on screen right now. Like that movie Good Boy, when I heard that was coming out, I was just like, I don't even want to see the dog scared. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want, if I hear him cry, it's going to bother me. I'm going to be like, why are they making him sad? Stop. Like, there's no reason for that. Stop it. Don't want it to happen. I still miss the Bushwhackers. So the pink ray of death, the hot pink ray of death, Ashley came in with the hot pink ray of death. That's what we're calling that. I'm going to make up names for all of these colors, though. There we go. Got that updated. Thank you very much, Ashley. Once again, your television champion. Once again, the supreme ruler of the stream. Magnificent. Check out Wrestling Bios. It just finished the Reliving the War Raw versus Nitro series. I watched it from the beginning. Fresh perspective. You'd like it. So addictive. Check it out. I will check that out. Yeah, I can never get enough of the Raw versus Nitro stuff. I lived it. It was incredible. Taping one, because that's the way life worked back then. You had to program your VCR with a tape and hope it actually recorded while you watched the other one live. The magnificent magenta ray of maniacal madness. That sounds like something right out of Willy Wonka. I miss when the WWE did the wrestling room. I don't remember that. I don't remember that. People can make their decisions. Animals are innocent. Yeah, I agree with that, Pat. I agree with that. I'm so sorry. I can't. No, it's fine. It's fine. Trust me. It's not a problem. Let's see. What if good boy? If the dog is like John McClane, he gets scuffed up, maybe a little bloody, but then he thwarts the bad guy in the end. No, I can't. There's a difference between seeing John McClane like get his feet cut up and he's cursing and everything, and you're kind of laughing because you can almost identify with it. You know what I mean? But like you don't know what's going through the dog's mind. So if you see him get hurt, you're just like, he doesn't know. You know what I mean? Like you want to just grab him and get him out of the situation. So, but John McClane, you're just sitting there and you're like, well, these guys are screwed. The more angry he gets, the worse it is for Hans Gruber. The first time you watch that movie, you know that. You know that's happening. Jeff's Party's here. What's going on? Great place to be. Wait a minute. It's a birthday party for Jeff's Party? Get out of here. Happy birthday. Is it real? Is today your birthday? Dallas Cowboys fan, Jeff's Party. You're going to get it. You're going to get it right now. Happy birthday to you. You like that? Happy birthday to you. I feel like Dean Martin right now. Happy birthday, Jeff's Party. Happy birthday to you. My voice is a little messed up, or else that would have sounded better. But thank you very much for popping in on your birthday, Jeff. That's awesome. Apparently, it took them so long to film Good Boy. The dog was having too much fun playing with his people. I could see that. You know what I want to see? I want to see In a Violent Nature Part 2. Because the first one was interesting. I mean, it moved a little slow, but I enjoyed it. PFA hated it. And her friend hated it, but me and her friend's husband, we were just digging it the whole time because we were like, all right, this is basically Jason Voorhees. We're just getting it from his perspective. But I it was a little slow moving, but I thought it was cool. Like those summer camp movies. I like that because for me, it's like the summer comes. For me, that's when the Halloween season really starts, right after the 4th of July, because then you get the summer camp horror movies like Jaws, Sleepaway Camp, Friday the 13th, In a Violent Nature, that sort of stuff. And that's fun. And then that leads you right into the Halloween season. So right after the 4th of July, it's officially Halloween season in the Demonverse. I don't know how I'm going to decorate this room for the holidays and stuff, but I'm going to decorate it somehow. I don't know how I'm going to do it. Beautiful voice. Thank you very much, Jeff. I appreciate it. Yes, John Wick. And I haven't seen John Wick for that reason, because I don't know if they show it on screen, but I know he gets mad. And I know he goes after them, but I don't want to see that happen. And I don't even want to see flashbacks of it. That wasn't Marilyn Monroe. That was Dean Martin. I mean, it did sound like Marilyn Monroe, right? Clinton said it too, man. Sleepaway Camp is a classic. Yeah, that final scene that just gets burned into your retinas. You can never get it. You can never get it out. The skit making fun of the Turner wrestling thing. Okay, I remember that now. I remember that. That was like the huckster, and yeah, I remember that. I remember when Big Boss Man took on the Mountie. I went down a rabbit hole the other day looking up Bam Bam Bigelow and like what his cause of death was and everything. That was sad, man. Bam Bam Bigelow, he had like a bunch of drugs in his system, and a lot of these wrestlers, it's crazy. Like watching some of these old wrestling matches, and a lot of these guys are dead, and they died young. They died in their 40s, 50s. Bushwhackers are still rock. Like, are they both still alive? I know one of them was wrestling recently, and it didn't look good, but he was wrestling recently. I saw a Scott Steiner match fairly recently too, and it's like the people in the comments were just like, "Oh, you got to hang it up," and I'm like, "Okay, the guy's doing it because he enjoys it. He knows he's not going to put on a good match." It's more of a nostalgia thing. Just let the guy live, man. Just let him do what he wants. Like, people get crazy. Yeah, I think that's why they had to stop doing it, because I think he got sued. But they're saying the whole Randy Orton thing. Now, this is where it would get interesting. I don't think this is going to happen, but on SmackDown, we're supposed to see who Randy Orton's been on the phone with, right? Because Randy Orton beat up Cody Rhodes, and then Cody Rhodes got his revenge, and they were fighting back and forth. But Randy Orton's been on the phone with somebody, some mystery person, and people are saying it might be Vince McMahon. If that's the case, that's very interesting. And this whole thing with I don't even know what is going on with that anymore. The whole situation that he had with the former employee. I don't know if if that's been proven right or right. I don't know. I don't know what the situation is with that. But if they're bringing Vince back, then I would assume that's over with now. So I don't know. People are talking about Caleb Downs going out of the top 10. Any chance he falls to Dallas? I think he could. We had a mock draft up before. Do I still have it? Where did they have Caleb Downs going to? I don't remember. I had the Dave Kluge mock draft up before. I don't remember where they had Caleb Downs going, but they had him going to the Giants at 5. I think now with the injury stuff, that could be a bit high. And Jeremiah Love was still on the board. I don't think if he's there for the Giants, I don't think he makes it past them. But it's going to be interesting to see how if Mansour Delane is there for Dallas, that'd be phenomenal. I think Dallas is going. They had Dallas taking. Dave Kluge had Dallas taking. Are you okay, buddy? What's going on? Astro just came charging in here like something scared him. Sometimes he gets rattled by loud noises. So if PFA did something, he came running in here. Did something fall?
No, I'm putting the dishes away.
Oh, so that's why he got scared. Just putting the dishes away, and Astro got scared. He came charging in, burst through the door. He never does that.
Even loud. I'm just putting the dishes away.
Don't know.
He hurt himself because I heard him.
He hit the door, but he jumped on the bed. He's fine. He didn't hit it hard. He just bumped it open. It was all right. Randy is talking to Stephanie. You think so? Well, I know Stephanie is she's going to be in the hall. She's going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, not elected into the Hall of Fame. Yeah, it was PFA. People talking about Caleb Downs going to Dallas. So yeah, so they had Dallas taking a receiver and an offensive lineman, which I don't think will happen. I don't see that happening. No talk about Puka. What's there to say about Puka? He needs to get himself straightened out. So apparently he went to a place where he can do that. He can get himself straightened out. That's good for him. I hope he does. Hope he stops doing crazy things. Now I know we don't really know what happened with the girl. If he actually, if what she said actually happened the way she said it happened, because then there's that video of her twerking next to him when he's passed out. And if you're scared of the guy and he just hurt you, why would you be next to him twerking? You know what I mean? So there are a lot of questions to be raised. But the one thing I'll say is him being that intoxicated in public to where he is passed out. It's a bad look for the Rams, because then a bad look for him. But then, I could see the Rams telling him, listen, you can't be doing that. And then we get hit with these questions and everything, and it's just nonsense we don't want to deal with. So, it's just a bad look. He needs to really cut that out. And if he has a problem, I hope he doesn't. If he does have a problem, I hope he gets it straightened out. Yeah, that's really all you could say about Puka. Yeah, we can joke around about it and everything. Try to look at the lighter side of it. But, thankfully nobody actually got hurt. I mean, again, I don't want to discredit anything anybody said, but, if somebody physically harmed you and you're scared of him, why would you be next to him twerk? You know what I mean? It's some things don't add up. I'm not saying he didn't bite her. Maybe he did, but maybe it just wasn't as bad as she said it was, or maybe she didn't realize it. Maybe she was drunk and then she realized it the next day. Who knows? But man, I hope he gets better and stops doing this. So, a lot of these, and I actually think the NFL, these guys who were just speeding all over the place, there needs to be stricter rules in place for stuff like that. If you get caught going 125 miles an hour, you automatic 6-game suspension. How quickly do you want to bet guys would stop speeding. You know? Oh, yeah, the Nacho Man. I remember that. Jake the Snake Roberts is clean and sober. It saved his life. Yeah, and I think Diamond Dallas Page had a lot to do with that. I think he had a lot to do with that. Randy's talking to Ted, the $1 Million Man DiBiase, because everyone has a price. I hope so. That'd be cool. It's always the wide receivers. Yeah, that's what's crazy. That's what's crazy. Like, why? Drugs are bad, children, okay? Well, South Park. Yeah, he's got to get himself straightened out, because this cannot continue to go on. Apparently, the new NFL rule is there has to be a mental health professional on team staff. Is that really a thing? Are they really going to do that? Because that's not a bad idea. I love, by the way, that they are getting rid of the Monday night doubleheader, because, my God, that was the stupidest idea. Just get rid of that. And this whole thing with the refs, man. The refs have to understand AI is going to get better and better, and the NFL is going to utilize, they're going to go out of their way to utilize AI. And look what baseball's doing. They're going to go out of their way to utilize AI to try to limit the human interaction on field. Human error, I should call it. And, the thing I don't understand about the refs, though, is they don't want to be full-time employees, and they don't want to have to take courses on how to improve. I mean, they also don't want to, one of the things they're fighting against is the NFL says, well, we want to be able to pick the referees that we want for the playoffs, like the guys that we think are the best. The Referees Association, whatever they're called, they're saying, no, we want to just do it by seniority. And just let the best guys handle the playoffs. Just let that happen. So I think a lot of the stuff that the referees are doing is out of line, and it's not going to end in their favor. If we have a season of replacement refs, that's going to be hard, but the NFL is going to figure something out to where they're going to limit the possibility of human error. The issue they could run into, though, is it going to slow the game down? Are we going to be just looking at every single call now, and is everything going to be, we got to review this, we got to review that, because that's going to be terrible too. You can't do that, and that could kill the game. So I know he must be busy this week, but I miss Father Dismas. The Demonverse is more entertaining when he chimes in. Yeah, he is. He's been chiming in on some of the skits and everything. And by the way, speaking of Father Dismas, let me see. I have let's see, wait a second. Oh, no, okay, hold on. This is it. So this was the, in NFL High, I had to, speaking of Puka, I had to put up Father Dismas's quote. This is what he put on one of my skits. Puka Nakua Bitter Lady, is this something about a Pokemon gone rogue? So we got a little Father Dismas action, even though he's not here right now. He's on the NFL High screen as I teleport over to the NFL High school classroom. Mr. Demers doesn't know I'm here, so I'm not allowed to touch anything, apparently, but I can do whatever I want because I'm the creator. I got the Mighty Quinn. You're a Demonverse champion. There's the Demonverse. Ride the Lightning. Little Roger Goodell. Seahawks. All right, I'm going to teleport back. There we go. I can only teleport when I'm with Lord Chair, by the way. All right, well, this has been a lot of fun, guys. Another Thursday night Demonverse. We had the Jalen Hurts talk going on. We had little mock draft action. What is this? Oh, that's on my screen. You see what I'm looking at? This is what I'm looking at right now. I'm looking at myself in the past. That's a portal to the past. I got to close that up because that's weird. Had a little mock draft action. Little Jalen Hurts action. This is a lot of fun. We'll talk a little bit about Kirk Cousins, a little bit about Puka. Yes. What's Nuka saying here? Hold on. Back in your day, Tim, NFL players didn't earn enough to get away with being a problem. Yeah, they didn't. They didn't. Yeah, the NFL is discounting 2 games on Monday night. Thank God. No more Monday night doubleheaders. I hated that. That was stupid. Why would you do that? So ridiculous. So getting rid of that. Very happy with that. Coming to their senses. They're listening to us, which is cool. But I'm going to call it a night, guys. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you to everybody who joined. Thank you to everybody who donated. Thank you to the supreme ruler of the stream, Ashley, that came in with the hot pink ray of death. Can we get that up on screen? Or is it? Oh, there it is. The hot pink ray of death. That's it. That's the one that did it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the one that did it. A match with 72 super kicks and 30 false finishes with 90% of it being outside the ring. Was that the Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, whatever, with The Rock and Seth Rollins? Yeah, that was terrible. That was terrible. Good night, everyone. Thank you, guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you very much, Clinton. Thank you to everybody who donated. Thank you to everybody who liked the stream. Thank you to everybody who commented. You guys are the best. Again, keep an eye out for the long form content coming out this week. It'll be out this week. Hopefully I can get it up Monday. If I don't get it up Monday, it'll definitely be out this week, whether I have to stay up all night and finish editing it or not. But when you see that video, let me know in the comments if you want me to do more of those. And I will. For PFA, for Lucas and Astro, who got scared before running in here because PFA is doing the dishes. I am Rich Joda. Oh, for Lorraine, who watches every single stream, and she's green, just like Darren Mougey's name. I am Rich Joda, the Pro Football Demon, and I will see you guys soon. Thank you very much.